Thanks, Katie. Morning, Coach. Coach Lynn mentioned on Wednesday how after the Illinois game, the whole defense took that performance personally. And I want to know, what does that look like the last couple weeks in practice, taking a performance where you didn't do as well as you would have liked personally?
Well, it's a game of as you go through the season, it's a game of responses, and having the appropriate response to whatever situation presents itself. So we've got some good defensive leadership. Our standards on that side of the ball are really really high, and so I've seen a group of players, coaches, everyone that is there's been, a real, I don't want to say increase, I don't really want to compare it, but I just know there's been a very high sense of urgency throughout the bye week and then certainly through this week of practice. And, we want to be a complete defense. We want to be a defense that can do what we need to do to win football games. And, when we have a performance that we feel like we fell short of that, then we've got to step up and go be elite. We've got to go practice and prepare elite. And I know our guys are really motivated to play. They've been motivated to practice, and I'm excited to watch them tomorrow.
Haley.
Good morning. There's so much history between USC and Michigan. I'm just kind of wondering, like, what kind of a stamp do you want to make on this chapter of I guess we could call it a rivalry, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, there'll be some new rivalries with these new conference opponents. And yeah, I mean, I think right now, it's just kind of the focus on, us coaching and playing our very, very best. But you also don't want to, undervalue the fact that, yeah, these games like this don't come around just all the time. And so the games like this are special. They are unique. I think we'll feel that all of us that are in the Coliseum tomorrow. And so, yeah, you understand that these are games that you're going to remember. And so I've always, I love coaching in games like this, love competing in games like this. Having been a part of some cool different rivalries throughout my career, I mean, you always remember those. There are some moments like, hey, for all of us, on all sides, that it's like, hey, this is pretty cool that we all get to be a part of USC Michigan tomorrow in the Coliseum. Like that's big time stuff for what these two programs have accomplished throughout time. So, yeah, appreciation for it and excited to go compete.
Corey.
Morning, Coach. How much of Michigan's Bryce Underwood have you seen, and does he remind you of any player in the past that you've either prepared for or coached?
It's a good question. I mean, he's I saw him as a recruit. He was a really talented player. And then yeah, obviously got to see him play this year, and yeah, he's a good player. I mean, he is. He's dynamic. He's a unique athlete. He's got a really strong arm. And then I think the one thing people that haven't seen him or been around him is he's not a thin kid. Like he's put together. He's put together in a great way. So. I'd probably have to think a little bit more on the comparison. I don't know that there's one that just jumps off the table right now, but I mean, he's certainly a talented kid, a weapon for them. It'll be a good challenge for us tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ryan.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, Ryan. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Looking at last week's game, Wisconsin on their opening drive drove down the field. I think they ran the ball like 8 out of 10 plays and really just was able to impose their will. After that, finished the game with 75 total rushing yards. So just curious what you kind of saw from Michigan's front seven, how they were able to really adapt and how you can kind of neutralize that with your running game.
Yeah, Wisconsin had some success early, like you said. I mean, Michigan, they were able to convert some third downs in that drive, and then Michigan did a good job after it. I mean, they're a talented group. They've got good coaches and experienced coaching staff, experienced coordinator. They're not just gonna sit there and do the same things all the time. And so I think there's the schematic part of it, but you got to understand that every play is going to be a battle, and what happened on a previous play or a previous drive really has nothing to do with kind of where you're at in that moment. And Michigan did a good job of that last week, and so yeah, I mean I think this will be that type of game where both sides are going to make plays, both sides are going to trade punches, and you got to be able to sustain it. While you got momentum, you got to be able to really push it And if the other side makes a play, you got to be able to flip that momentum and kind of put a lid on it and get things flipped back in your favor. And it takes great discipline. It takes great execution. It's going to be a very physical ball game, and so we're excited about that. That these are the most fun games for a reason.
Thanks.
Connor.
I think I know your answer, but do you anticipate having Elijah Page and Alex Graham available on Saturday?
Yeah, you know my answer. Yeah, and again, not time to be anything like that, but it just right now we'll put it in the injury report for tomorrow.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Haley.
DeCarlos told us that there was a particular song of the week that had the team pretty hyped. I'm wondering if you could disclose maybe what that was or some of the things that you're doing to just get the guys juiced right now.
Uh, maybe later. It's kind of an internal, kind of team thing right now. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had to do honestly a whole lot to get them excited for this one. I mean, our guys are, they understand the opportunity, and so yeah, we're ready to play. I think we're very unified. I think the guys wish the game was today, like they wish it was right now. They're really, really ready to play. So yeah, maybe down the line we'll let you in on it.
Ryan.
Coach, been looking at your receiving core and specifically Prince Strawn since coming back, obviously battled back from injury. What have you kind of seen with his development? Is there a hope to get him a little bit more involved in the passing game, or have you just liked what you've seen? Obviously, the tight ends have been a lot more involved this year, which has been great to see in the offense as well.
Yeah, Prince was really doing some good things, and then he had the injury there, then one of the early games, and just kind of been, he had a high ankle sprain, and those just they take a while. And there's with high ankle sprains, there's an initial just working to get back functional on the field, and then there's a trying to get back closer to full speed, and those historically just linger. And so Prince has worked his tail off at it. He's been able to do a lot more in practice kind of each week and is getting closer in terms of being back to full speed. Like you said, we have some other guys that have been playing well and producing, but no, we still certainly see, a role and an opportunity for him and excited for him to get back fully close to healthy, which he's about there. And so, we're going to need him and these other guys, and that's part of the season, right? The ebbs and flows. We've had a lot of different people in and out of the lineup, and we need guys to continually step up. And then some of these guys coming back off injury, we're going to need them, as we get into the middle and later parts of the season. And Prince certainly fits in that category.
Thanks, Coach.
Mhm.
Corey.
Yeah, in back-to-back weeks, we've seen players in the NFL just inexplicably drop the ball before reaching the end zone. Is that something that you and your coaching staff feel the need to address your team about? Even though it seems so simple, but it continues to happen at the highest level.
We show it to our team every single week. It's an emotional play, and what happens is these guys get caught up in the emotion. Most of the time, it's on a breakaway play, of making a huge play and crowds going crazy and they're excited. And what happens is they drop the ball and they feel like they're across the line. They're moving so fast at that point. And most of these guys on a breakaway like that are topping out over 20 miles an hour. And so you feel like you're across, and it's one of those things that happens. And so no, we certainly coach it. It's kind of one of every coach's worst nightmares. And obviously we saw the one in the Cardinals game the other night, that completely flipped the game. So yeah, I mean, you talk about it, you try to mentally prepare them, and then, you got to be very disciplined with making sure you get through the line and you get the ball to the official, then you never have to worry about it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Eric.
Hey, Coach. Gianre talked this week about how he struggled a little bit more than he anticipated in kind of just picking up the offense and getting involved when he first got here. How tough is your offense for a center to pick up? How involved are you in kind of bringing them along? What did that look like for him as he got here and got to this point now?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, the system that he came out of there was a lot of differences, and I think for a guy like him that's older and has played a decent amount of ball, there's I think sometimes an assumption that you're going to be able to just roll right in just because you're experienced and pick it up. And I think there was a little bit more new to it than probably what he anticipated. And some of it's the same plays, but it's just doing them a little bit different than what he did at Syracuse. And so, I mean, yeah, I saw some moments of him in spring and early in camp where he got frustrated, because he's wanting to go play, well and wanting to be able to go, operate the group, and it just wasn't quite natural. But the cool thing about John Ray that I've been really impressed with is, a lot of guys in his scenario, you leave a place for your starter, you come here, you become the backup. A lot of guys would get discouraged with that, and he really. I give him credit. He has really worked behind the scenes, particularly in these last couple of months. While Killian was playing the majority of the snaps, he put a lot of extra time into it. He was even more engaged in practice, and so when his moment came up, he was more ready. And then he's had a fantastic last couple of weeks. So I give the kid a lot of credit for staying with it. Hard to do sometimes when you're an older guy like that, and he's done it, and that's why he's going to play well tomorrow.
And we'll wrap it up with Connor.
Thank you. I'm interested, Coach, in so Rod Moore from Michigan has come back and he had an interception against Wisconsin. He's kind of changed their secondary a little bit. How does him being back affect your preparation? And is he just a guy that you've game planned for this week? And just thoughts on him overall?
He's a good player. You could you see on tape why they were excited to get him back. I mean, I think the just the experience factor that he brings. And again, I don't know him. I'm not in those walls, obviously, but having a guy with that much experience, can do nothing but help any unit. So yeah, he came in and made a really nice play on the interception last week. He seems to be very active, very um watching him, he looks like a very smart player. Looks like he's able to diagnose things pretty quickly. So yeah, I mean, they already had a very talented secondary, but yeah, I think fair to say you could feel that veteran presence has probably, done nothing but help him. So yeah, really good player, and he'll be a big challenge for us.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks, guys. And before we close, it's time for Conquest Command, a question from the front lines of the Trojan Army. Our question this week is from content creator Big Ten Trojan. You can follow him on X at Big Ten Trojan, spelled B1G10 Trojan. Coach Riley, what's the most underrated part of being a quarterback that fans don't realize makes a huge difference on game day?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot. I mean, I would say just all the operation that these guys go through before the ball's even snapped. I mean, I think it would, to most people that maybe haven't been maybe in a huddle or a part of that, I think it would shock some people to see like all that these guys really do, from communicating to operating a team with a shift or with a motion, and then there's snap count timing, and there's just so much, checks at the line of scrimmage. There's just so much going on for these guys mentally before the ball's even snapped. And so yeah, that to me is I think it's such a huge key. Some of the guys that play the best are the ones that run their groups the best, and then are able to execute once the ball snaps. So yeah, I think that's probably the kind of the biggest kind of maybe unsung key to playing that position really well.